Hello, my name is Gloria. Okay, what I want to show you is that this and this are like two separate things in the figure. Now, you don't have to learn how to draw what the rib cage looks like or what the actual pelvis bones look like. This is not an anatomy class. So what I want you to do is try and understand it in its most simplest shape is, we'll call it the pelvic box. And the box actually is narrower at the top and wider at the base. So what that means is it's narrower here at the waist and wider here at the hips. And on girls, it's even wider because your hips are biologically designed to bear children. So it's wider down there, wider lower. Whereas boys, their hips, they don't have to carry children or push them out. So their hips are more square, top and bottom, okay? Top and bottom. So this would be the pelvic area on Gloria here, okay? This is the torso, and we'll think of the torso also as a longer box that's narrower at the waist and wider at the shoulders, okay? And what's interesting is that the shoulders can move independently from the pelvis because of our spine, okay? And the spine is that bone that goes down the back. That's your spine. But it's held in place by, it holds in place, the torso and the pelvis. So we're going to look at today when we're drawing how that works and how that moves, and especially try to see it when it's underneath clothes. And that's the trick. Because the reason why we need to understand this is that when you're doing an illustration, and you're going to be doing illustrations in your design classes, you want your drawings to have some life to them, and you also want to understand what the body is doing with the fabric that you're putting on top of it. And once you understand that and are able to communicate that, your clothes will be understood by the wearer or the viewer, someone who's looking at them. Because I was just looking at Comme des Garçons that just showed in Paris yesterday, and oh my God, who would wear that? I mean, that's a different statement, but it's like, what was the body doing underneath those clothes, or who could wear it? Anyways, that's a different story. So what we're going to look at is the torso and the pelvic box, okay? And we're going to look how that works on the figure. I also have a handout for you guys today. Let's just take a moment to go over it here. And I need one more for myself.
Oh, I can share it too. Okay.
So it says at the top, relationships to look for, and I think on most everybody's I've written center front line, and I drew a little line down the center of the girl that's standing. So we always want to look and see where this center front line is and how it's moving, okay? This line right here. And we have to understand that that line is never straight. It's always curving, depending on how the model is standing. It's always curving. And that line connects this torso line with the pelvic line. It starts at the neck and ends here at the bottom of the pubic region of the model. On this page, too, you also have the balance line. It shows you the balance line. So the balance line shows you the balance of the pose. It gives you, in this case, because it's a standing pose, you can see which leg is supporting the weight of the model and which leg is just what we call resting. So in this case, all of the weight, and the line shows you right there, is on this leg, not this leg, but this leg, the left leg, okay? So some other things to look for in this particular suppose the relationship of the shoulders to, say, the center front line, or the relationship of the pelvis and how it's tilting to the center front line. Okay? So this is just a little guide. I would put this paper in your sketchbooks, tape it in, so that if you ever get stuck or lost, you can go back and you have a reference here of how these, what we called them last week, and we're still calling them the landmarks, work. What the shoulders are doing, what the center front line is doing, where the waist is, where the pelvis is. Okay? Those are our, what we call the key landmarks. So the best way for me to further explain this to you is to actually show you with a demonstration. You want to come over to my seat.